So Donald Trump is back posting his weird rambling rants on Truth Social. You know, every once in a while he'll post this series of videos and they're all like a minute to 2 minutes in length, and he's just kind of rambling about whatever's on his mind that day. And it's always just like very incoherent, hard to follow. He's like repeating himself over and over and over again for that time period. And this was no different. He posted a new video today where he's talking about the trial, and it's just not good. This video he's posting is not winning over any voters. It's not changing anybody's mind. It's just kind of playing into his base, and he's using all these buzzwords, and it's just not great. So we're going to take a look at that, talk about it a little bit, and go from there. So the first clip I'm going to show you from this video is like the first 15 seconds, his intro, and you'll see what I mean. Take a look.
My civil rights have been totally violated with this highly political, unconstitutional, and election-interfering witch hunt of a trial. Our failing nation is being laughed at all over the world for what's happening.
Yeah, so Donald Trump is once again using his very large vocabulary of around 6 words, and he's breaking out all the buzzwords. He said his civil rights were violated, it was election interference, unconstitutional witch hunt. And he put that all in like a matter of 5 seconds, just kind of squished it all into one sentence to really, push the narrative that he thinks he was treated unfairly. Really breaking out all the buzzwords, trying to rile up his base, that it was unconstitutional, his civil rights, all that nonsense. Of course, none of it is true. He had a fair trial. But this is really interesting that he's going with this talking point, because not a single poll has indicated that he's right, that the American people agree with him. Matter of fact, we have a poll that was released the other day of independents exclusively, and it found that most of them found that Donald Trump had a fair trial, that they believe the trial was fair, he received due process. 54% of independents, it was a CBS YouGov poll, by the way, 54% of independents said Trump received a fair trial, while 46% didn't. I don't know what the 46% are thinking. They need to come over to the logical side of politics. But still, the majority of independents, people who are down the middle, think that the trial was fair. And it gets even better when you just look at adults across the board. Most adults, 56%, also said that Donald Trump got a fair trial. So I don't know why he's going with this talking point. I don't know why he's pushing this lie, because maybe his base loves it, but this is not moving the needle for your swing voter in Pennsylvania or your college student in Michigan. It's just not doing anything for them. And I love how he said that people are laughing at us over this trial, because he's so unaware of his surroundings. It's like painful to watch him say things like this, because it's so laughable. People are not laughing at the United States because of this trial or because of Joe Biden or because of the Democrats. Anybody abroad is laughing at the United States because of Donald Trump, because of the MAGA Republicans. They're looking at the cult that he has and they're like, what is going on? What is going on in this beacon of democracy, this beacon of light on the world stage? What are they doing? And they're laughing at Trump because this guy is a criminal. He's a convicted felon, and he's the front runner for a major party. See, abroad, when they're not subjected to Donald Trump, it's laughable. But here in the United States, when we have to deal with Donald Trump, I'm not laughing as much. But that's why folks around the world are laughing at the United States right now. Not because of Joe Biden. They admire Joe Biden. They're laughing because of Donald Trump and his antics. It's just insane. So anyway, here's the next clip from that rant of Donald Trump's. Take a look.
But we're going to go forward, and we're going to make America better than ever before. November 5th is the most important day in the history of our country, and we're going to get out there, we're going to vote like never before.
All right, I'm going to stop it right there once again, because you know what? Donald Trump is actually right, just not in the way he thinks. He's right that November 5th is a historic day. It's one of the most important days in American history, certainly in modern American history, and we're going to vote like never before, just not for him. It is an incredibly important day, because this will be the day that the American people stand up to MAGA and Donald Trump's ideal dictatorship that he wants to form if he wins. We're going to stand up to authoritarianism on November 5th, 2024, when we, as Americans, walk into that ballot box and reject Donald Trump and all of his candidates down the ballot. Every single MAGA candidate, every single Republican who has stood by Donald Trump and stood by this Republican Party, I know that the American people are going to get out there and vote against them. Now, you're going to have your lunatics win in deep red districts like Marjorie Taylor Greene, like Matt Gaetz, whatever it might be. But for the most part, your average American is looking at this Republican Party with disgust, with disdain. because they don't stand for anything. They're not running on any policy. Their entire policy is keeping Donald Trump out of jail and preserving the MAGA movement. It's not, hey, we're going to make your house, your rent less expensive. We're going to make groceries less expensive. We're going to fight climate change or invest in infrastructure. It's not that, because the Democrats are running on that. The Republicans are running on loving Donald Trump. So I agree. You're right. November 5th is a historic day. We're all going to get out there and vote, and I can't wait. But we're not voting for Donald Trump. We're not voting for convicted felon Donald Trump. So anyway, here is the last part of that clip that Donald Trump uploaded today. Take a look.
And we're going to also appeal this rigged trial, and we're going to win at the appellate level or in the appeals courts, even if we have to go up to the United States Supreme Court, because everybody knew what a disgraceful sham this was. Thank you very much.
So this is another example of Donald Trump having no idea what the law is, just having no idea how our system of justice works, how the courts work. The only way he could get it to the Supreme Court is if he raises a constitutional issue. And thus far, they've not done that. They have not provided a constitutional issue with somebody being held accountable. There have been Supreme Court cases that have applied to different principles in this case, but the Supreme Court case have been followed. There's been no separating of this case and the Supreme Court cases and what the court has held previously. It's been following the books. And why does he think he's going to win on appeal? Just because you don't like a verdict doesn't mean you're going to win on appeal. He has still, to this day, not been able to point to anything in this trial that was unfair or was not proper or didn't follow the law and typical court instructions. Not a single thing. His lawyers haven't, he hasn't, his family hasn't, none of his surrogates have. Nobody has been able to point to an actual appealable offense in this court case. The judge acted great. The jury was fantastic. There was no deprivation of due process here. So I don't know what this guy is rambling about, saying he's going to appeal, he's going to take it to the Supreme Court. I mean, I know that he's doing this to speak to his base. He's not actually, trying to make a coherent argument here, but does he really ever? I mean, but he just has no idea how the law works. You can't just be like, you know what? I was convicted, so I'm going to take it to the Supreme Court today. That's what I think I'm going to... No. And he also doesn't get special privilege. Maybe this Supreme Court will, because a lot of these are Trump lackeys on the court right now. Maybe they will give him special privilege. But in the American system we have, it's intended that he doesn't get that special privilege. So we'll see. We'll see. There's no jurisdiction there. He hasn't been able to make a constitutional claim, but we'll see what happens. So anyway, that was Donald Trump's unhinged rant that he went on today. In just the span of around 45 seconds, which was how long the video was, he managed to lie 4, 5, 6, 7 times. It's remarkable. It's like a world record. So anyway, I'll leave the video there. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe down below. It goes such a long way. Also drop a like on the video, comment, let me know what you think about all of this. Share the video with anybody you think needs to see it. And as always, I appreciate you being here, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.